Hey, this is Steve, and today we're going to talk about the new functional plant protein and microbiome support from Klaire Labs. Now, I like to call it a bait and switch. So let me tell you why. It's kind of a new category. You have in each serving 20 grams of the highest quality protein, as well as 7 grams of prebiotic fibers in each serving. So on the one hand, that's why I call it a bait and switch. On the one hand, you have this massive $17 billion protein shake industry, right? And huge market demand for protein shakes. And on the other side, right, on the other side, you have this probiotic market, this little teeny tiny $2 billion probiotic market. Unless, your patients don't really come in asking for probiotics, but this huge protein market, and it's kind of hard to make an argument that the average American diet is deficient in protein. However, on the flip side, although there's not really a huge market demand for it, the average American diet is severely deficient in probiotic fibers. So what Klaire attempts to do here with the bait and switch is give you a market demand protein shake while also sort of slipping in the prebiotic fibers that your patients and clients actually need in their diet. So let's talk about both sides. The protein. So this is a American grown yellow pea protein, USDA certified organic. It's not North American. North American, as you know, means Canadian. This is American yellow peas. It's USDA organic. And then the peas themselves, let's talk about. So in the pea, you have an outer shell and you have an inner pod. And pea protein, as you know, normally has more of a gritty texture to it. It has sort of an earthy flavor. I used to say it's kind of like tastes like you're drinking your garden. And so what Klaire does is they don't use the outer shell. They only use the inner pod. And so you have a more easily digestible, smoother texture and better tasting pea protein. It is also a fermented pea protein. So something I didn't know in the past is that we thought that fermented pea protein was this very distinct feature. Some was, some wasn't. But what we learned is that pretty much all pea protein is fermented pea protein. So the fact that it's fermented pea protein isn't a distinguishing factor. It's just part of what pea protein is. So you have this super high quality pea protein, high branched chain amino acid profile, and then you also have 7 grams of prebiotic fibers, and that's going to come from organic acacia fiber and organic agave inulin. So let's talk about the prebiotic fibers, right? So everyone knows that prebiotic fibers feed the friendly flora, right? Prebiotics feed probiotics, but there's so much more to it. I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to read a little bit because it does so much. Prebiotic fibers increase short chain fatty acid production, which act as an anti-inflammatory. They are nutrition for your colon. They reduce diarrhea. They help treat inflammatory bowel disease. They protect against colon cancer in animal and lab studies, regulate blood sugar levels, especially people who are insulin resistant or diabetic. They prevent and treat obesity. They decrease the risk of heart disease. Yes, I'm reading because this is a long list. I don't want to miss anything. They increase calcium magnesium absorption, can also increase bone density, enhance and strengthen the immune system, reduce blood triglyceride levels, better controlled weight and appetite due to healthy gut hormonal changes. So there's a hormonal cascade is involved there. It increases the good bacteria in the gut. There's concomitant decrease in bad or the unwanted bacteria in the gut. Reduced abdominal bacterial leakage through the gut wall, as we all know of leaky gut. We all know is leaky gut syndrome. Improved bowel regularity, may reduce intestinal infections, may reduce inflammation in the colon walls. And of course, prebiotic fibers are known to decrease smelly flatulence, what we all know is kind of like the protein farts, right? The smelly gas. So prebiotic fibers play this huge role. And again, there's not a huge market demand, but there is a huge dietary demand. And with the protein shakes, there's a huge market demand and not a real strong dietary demand. Hard to make an argument that most people are deficient in protein. Although if you can get rid of some of the more processed food, processed carbohydrates, and replace it with protein, really good idea. So this is Klaire Labs functional plant protein. It's available in vanilla bean as well as dark chocolate and sea salt. Each serving is 20 grams of protein, 1.5 to 2 grams of fat, 7 grams of prebiotic fibers, no net carbs. It is all the carbs in here are fiber, so no net carbs, and it is sweetened with stevia and monk fruit, otherwise known as lohango. So check it out, enjoy it, try it. The vanilla and chocolate both taste great in water. I have mixed the dark chocolate and sea salt with bulletproof coffee, which is just phenomenal. So I strongly suggest you try it with a few different ways, but coffee and chocolate is really, really good. All right, let me know if you have any questions.